Hey friends, it's Bridget. It is that time again, the beginning of a new week. Time to be proactive instead of reactive and do a little weekly planning. If I don't tell my time what I'm going to do with it, it will tell me. And unfortunately, sometimes if I don't have a plan, it will tell me, hey, you're just going to sit and scroll on social media for 2 hours and not a whole lot will get done. So we are going to lay down an essential plan for the week, and I'll be doing that in the weekly section of this Hobonichi Weeks Mega from 2023. I'm going to try something a little different this week than I normally do. I really enjoy the look of a thicker line on these outlined sections, and in the past that's what I've most often done, is taken a straight edge and just basically lined over all of the existing lines here to make it stand out. But I'm trying to find some different layouts over the next couple months to have some go-to choices that are less time consuming. I've accumulated quite a little stack of Hobonichi weeks for 2024, and I feel like I'll be more likely to use them next year if I have some quick go-to layouts and options. And even though I love the look of that outline, it can be time consuming. So we're going to skip that, and I just made some little dividers in the center here. The weekly weather this week is actually going to be amazing if it continues as planned. Now this pen that I'm going to be using today is obviously a fountain pen. This was a collab with Kaweco and Galen Leather, and it's a medium nib. My most commonly used pen in the Hobonichi weeks is the multi-pen that they send with their books. But for whatever reason, I was just in the mood to use a fountain pen this morning, so that's what we're gonna do. So back down into the high 40s by the end of the week and no rain. Sweet. Now for this right side of the planning part, I'm just going to draw in appointments and events. Now I'm writing much larger than I usually do in the weeks. The main reason for that is this medium nib fountain pen. So if you prefer to keep your writing small enough to accommodate more lines or to stay within the grid size, it would be wise to stick with a 0.5 millimeter or smaller pinpoint, or a fine or even extra fine is ideal for the week's nib size if you want to use a fountain pen. And I owned several other Kaweco Sports, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just in my head or what, but I feel like this collab with Galen Leather has a smoother nib than my others. So I do reach for it quite often. Just going to use the letter Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to represent the day of the week. And of course, I'm talking and can't apparently walk and chew gum at the same time. That should have been an F for Friday. So I'm going to come back to that at the tail end, give that some time to dry, and I do have a little correction tape for the weeks, so we'll fix that before it's all said and done. I'm a big soup lover, and so this cooler weather is inspiring me to cook more soups this week for dinner. Now what I've also been trying to do on this right side, my adulting or to-do list, is really only put the priorities for the week. So I end up not being overwhelmed with a tremendously long to-do list. If you use a pencil board, it's a great landing pad for sticky notes. And so you could put 2 or 3 sticky notes on here and just brainstorm and maybe have a much longer list, but choose your priorities for the actual page. That's something that I've found helpful over the last couple weeks. And I can add throughout the week if necessary, but these are just the true priorities of to-dos that I would like to accomplish. So that's going to be the top half, and then for the bottom half of this spread, I'm going to do some habit tracking. So your dead center column will leave 11 empty grid spaces on either side of it. So I'm just trying out some different habit trackers between now and the end of the year. There's so many different ways you can lay them out. Hopefully by the time 2024 starts, some of these will already be so established that I can shorten the list. But I'm kind of doing a little, reset here, getting back to basic. Projected weather, events and appointments, meals, to-do, and habit tracking. So you've got several options with this style layout. As you do complete a habit on a particular day, you can either make a little dot within the grid, you can make an X, you can do the little design, which I think I may actually try this week because I love the way that looks. I'm sure you've seen others where it ends up looking like a diamond shape, but this is going to be my start of the week. I feel good about this. It's hitting all the high points. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below, and I hope you have a great week this week. Thanks for being here. See y'all in the next video. This is a little correction tape that I believe I purchased on Amazon. If I can find that link, I'll leave it in the description box below. But I use it quite often. It is a cream tape and not a bright white, so it works very well on the Hobonichi Weeks paper. And look how thin it is as well. I believe they may have had different thicknesses, but this very thin width here is great for the weeks. So we're going to convert this mistaken S into an F for Friday, hopefully. There we go. Isn't that nice? And you don't have to wait for it to dry because it is a tape and not a liquid. So that should have been Friday. And there we go.